Archangel Michael says, something unexpected is about to enter your life. God says, don't ignore this message, open your heart within the next moments. My child, sometimes a message arrives wrapped in intensity, and you wonder if it's meant to frighten you or wake something gentler inside you. My dear one, take a slow breath with me and let the noise soften, because nothing that comes from heaven seeks to shake you into fear. What you're hearing now is not a command or a threat, but an invitation to open your heart in a calmer way. And as you breathe, let a small sense of curiosity settle where urgency once lived. You are stepping into a moment where the language of the world may sound loud, dramatic, even overwhelming, yet the language of the Spirit remains steady and warm. When titles shout, your soul whispers. When the world insists on rushing, the divine asks you to slow down and listen from a deeper place. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. Feel the quiet warmth spreading across your chest. Let that be the real message guiding you right now. Stay with me, because there is something aligning for you, something that doesn't need pressure to be meaningful. You don't need to brace yourself. You don't need to worry about missing your blessing. What's meant for you does not slip through trembling hands. There is a gentle unfolding at play, and you are standing at the edge of it even if you cannot see every piece moving. Allow this moment to be one of trust rather than tension. I want you to hear this with peace. The spiritual realm never needs to frighten you into awakening. Divine guidance moves like light through curtains, soft but certain. So when you feel that subtle nudge, that quiet pull in your spirit, know that it comes wrapped in love. Know that it comes without countdowns, without ultimatums, without any demand except the invitation to receive. As you breathe again, notice how different your body feels when reassurance takes the place of urgency. Notice how your shoulders drop when you release the pressure to interpret everything instantly. You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to open slowly. You are allowed to let understanding rise like dawn instead of flashing like lightning. And as this message continues, let your heart stay in that softer posture. Something meaningful is indeed approaching your life, not as a disruption but as a gentle confirmation. When it comes, you'll recognize it not by fear, but by peace. Let this awareness settle in you like evening light drifting across a quiet room. You do not need to search frantically for what is already moving toward you with grace. Simply hold yourself open, trusting that the right moment will rise gently to meet you. There is a moment, my beloved child, when the noise around you grows so loud that you forget you were never meant to face your battles alone. In that moment, when your heart tightens and your thoughts scatter, breathe softly and listen. Archangel Michael steps near not to demand anything of you, but to remind you of what has always been true. You are held. You are guided. You are not alone. Let these words move through you like calm water, smoothing the places that panic once claimed. When fear tries to rise, it often feels like a storm breaking open inside your chest, but divine protection does not wait for the clouds to clear. It arrives in the middle of your trembling. It finds you exactly where you are. Michael's presence is not a distant glow, but a steadying strength that wraps gently around your spirit. Feel that subtle shift inside you now, the way your breath deepens without effort, the way your shoulders soften as reassurance replaces confusion. You are being reminded that heaven does not hesitate to defend the one who seeks refuge. There is a sacred clarity that comes when you allow yourself to feel safe again. Panic narrows your vision, but protection widens it. Panic pushes you to rush, but divine presence teaches you to stand grounded and unshaken. Michael speaks to the part of you that has grown weary from trying to be strong alone, and he whispers strength back into your bones. He invites you to release the battles that were never yours to carry. He invites you to rest your heart in something larger than fear. You are held. You are guided. You are not alone. Let the repetition settle into your spirit like a rhythm you can lean against. Each phrase is a reminder that your life is surrounded by more goodness than you realize. When you pause long enough to feel it, you sense a protective warmth that rises from within, as if your soul recognizes something your mind cannot yet explain. That warmth is the shield placed around you, the assurance that nothing meant to break you will prevail. And as you stand in this gentler awareness, notice how courage begins to flow back into you. Not loud, not forceful, but steady and sure. Courage that doesn't ignore your wounds, but honors them. Courage that doesn't silence your fears, but holds them with compassion until they dissolve. This is the kind of strength Archangel Michael brings, a strength rooted in peace rather than pressure. So stay with this feeling, and allow it to guide your steps forward. For the path ahead will open with greater ease when you move from the certainty that you are protected, supported, and deeply loved. Before you move any further into this message, let your body arrive fully here. Let the world outside pause for just a breath, and allow yourself to settle into a gentler rhythm. You've been carrying so many thoughts, so many quiet worries, and they've scattered your attention in 100 directions. But right now, my dear one, you are stepping into a sacred moment, and it asks nothing more of you than your presence. Take a slow inhale, not forced, just natural and soft. Feel your chest expand, as if your heart is making a little more room for peace to enter. Exhale gently, releasing the tightness you didn't even know you were holding. Let your shoulders melt downward, feeling the heaviness slide off as if invisible hands are helping you loosen what has been weighing on you. Breathe again, slower this time, and notice how the air feels different when you allow it to nourish you rather than rush through you. As your breath settles, place a hand over your heart if that feels right. Notice the warmth beneath your palm, the steady pulse, the quiet reminder that life moves within you even when your thoughts feel tangled. This warmth is not random. It is your spirit recognizing safety. It is your soul remembering that peace is always available when you enter moments like this with openness. Stay here for a few breaths, feeling the soft glow growing in the center of your chest. Your thoughts may try to pull you back into old concerns, but let this space become an anchor. Scattered thoughts belong to the world outside. Anchored presence belongs to you. With each breath, imagine your awareness gathering back into your body, like light returning to the center of a room. You don't have to fix anything right now. You don't have to solve or prove or hurry. Just be here, gently aware, gently held. If your spirit feels this, if something inside you is settling, softening, and opening, stay with me. That sensation is not imaginary. It's the soul's way of saying yes. Yes to calm. Yes to clarity. Yes to the divine nearness that becomes easier to feel when you slow down enough to recognize it. This moment is a doorway, and you are already stepping through it with grace. Let one more deep breath seal this awareness in your body. Feel the quiet strength rising within you, a grounded steadiness that promises you do not walk unseen or unsupported. From this anchored place, your heart becomes clearer, your intuition sharper, and your spirit more ready to receive what comes next with peace rather than overwhelm. You've softened your breath, you've entered this quiet space, and now something inside you is finally ready to be seen. Even if you haven't spoken it aloud, there is a weight you've been carrying for far too long. It moves with you through the day, slipping behind your smile, hiding beneath your patience, lingering in the silence before sleep. My dear one, I want you to know this. I see the struggle you've tucked away because you didn't want to burden anyone. And you're not wrong for feeling what you feel. There have been moments where loneliness wrapped itself around your chest in ways you didn't know how to describe. Moments when you looked strong on the outside but felt fragile on the inside, as though one more disappointment might make the whole structure of your hope crumble. You've waited for something, perhaps a breakthrough, a sign, a prayer answered with clarity, and the waiting has worn grooves into your spirit. You haven't told anyone how heavy that waiting has become, because you thought maybe you should be stronger by now. But hear me gently, your quiet exhaustion does not make you weak. It makes you human. There is also the confusion, the swirling uncertainty you carry like a secret storm. You've wondered why things take so long for you when others seem to receive their blessings with ease. You've wondered why a door opens halfway, only to close again before you can step through. You've wondered whether you misheard God, misread a sign, or misjudged your own intuition. These are the thoughts you wrestle with in the private corners of your heart. And even though you've done your best to keep going, there are days when the ache is undeniable. Let me mirror this back to you with compassion. You feel tired not because you lack faith, but because you've been hoping quietly for so long. You feel lonely not because you are unworthy of connection, but because your spirit longs for something real, safe, and aligned. You feel confused not because you're lost, but because you're standing at a turning point without seeing the full landscape yet. There is nothing wrong with you. Nothing broken. Nothing too late. Feel that truth sink in. Let it loosen the tightness around your heart. Let it breathe softness into the parts of you that have been bracing for another setback. And now, let me offer you a glimpse forward, not a prediction, but a gentle illumination. The heaviness you feel today is not the final word. The delays you've endured are not indicators of abandonment. The loneliness you've carried is not a prophecy of your future. There is a moment coming, in your next season of clarity, when this ache will make sense. You will look back and see how each unanswered question shaped your wisdom. You will understand why the timing had to stretch. You will feel gratitude for doors that didn't open because they would have led you somewhere that wasn't ready to hold your heart. Stay with me here. Imagine the weight you carry beginning to shift, not suddenly, but steadily, like clouds parting after a long storm. Imagine the quiet relief that rises when you finally recognize that you have never walked alone, not even in the nights when you felt forgotten. Imagine the soft certainty that begins to glow inside you when confusion gives way to understanding. You are seen in your struggle. You are held in your longing. And soon, sooner than your doubts believe, you will understand why this chapter felt heavy, and why its ending will feel like peace. You've carried the weight of waiting, wondering why certain doors stayed shut no matter how sincerely you knocked. But breathe for a moment, my dear one, and let a gentler truth rise to the surface. What felt like delay was never abandonment. What seemed like rejection was, in reality, a graceful shield placed around you by hands that saw further than your eyes could reach. Heaven was choreographing what you could not yet understand, guiding you around paths that would have drained you and toward moments designed to restore you. There were opportunities you wanted so deeply that their absence felt like a personal failure. But listen closely, not every no was meant to wound you. Some were meant to rescue you. Some were meant to reroute you towards something that would honor your spirit rather than exhaust it. The divine does not block your steps to punish you. The divine redirects you to protect your unfolding. And though your heart might have struggled to accept it at the time, your spirit already knew there was a larger alignment taking place behind the scenes. Feel how this shifts your understanding. Imagine the choices you would have made if every door you wanted had opened instantly. Imagine the connections that might have drained your peace. Imagine the environments that would have stretched you thin. You were never denied, you were preserved. You were never dismissed, you were guarded with intention and love. This is the sacred choreography that moves around your life, arranging every timing with precision that surpasses human logic. And here's where the open loop begins, the part your soul will recognize before your mind does. There is an unexpected kindness approaching your path, something gentle and affirming that will reveal why the wait had to be long, why the process had to be slow, why the unfolding had to be careful. It won't arrive with fanfare or drama. It will come softly, in a moment where your heart is finally ready to receive without fear. You will notice the shift first as peace, then as clarity, and finally as a quiet gratitude that surprises you. Let this anticipation feel light, not pressured. You're not being told to expect a miracle on command. You're being invited to trust that nothing you've lost was meant to harm you, and nothing you'll receive will arrive 1 minute too early or too late. Divine timing does not rush because your soul's safety is always the priority. And when you truly understand this, the delay stops feeling cruel and begins to feel intentional. You start seeing meaning where confusion once lived. Take a slow breath now and imagine yourself stepping into alignment with this truth. You are not waiting in emptiness, you are waiting in preparation. You are not stuck, you are being positioned. You are not overlooked, you are being led with extraordinary care. Even now, something unseen is moving on your behalf, something meant to meet you with tenderness and reassurance. And when it arrives, you will feel everything inside you whisper, "This is why it had to happen this way." When you hear words like "something surprising is coming," your mind may leap toward pressure, deadlines, or dramatic expectations. But breathe with me for a moment and let that tension soften, because the surprise meant for your spirit is nothing like the fear-based stories the world tends to tell. In this space, soon does not mean a countdown or a prediction you must cling to. It means a gentle opening, a window of alignment that appears when your heart is quiet enough to recognize what has been trying to reach you. This is the kind of surprise that brings clarity rather than confusion, relief rather than urgency. Think of it as a soft shift, a moment where something suddenly feels easier, clearer, or kinder than you expected. It might arrive as a message that warms your chest, a conversation that restores your hope, or a realization that lifts a weight you didn't realize you were still carrying. It could be support from someone you didn't anticipate, or an inner knowing that settles into your spirit like a whisper from heaven. Whatever form it takes, it will move toward you gently, without forcing itself or demanding your anticipation. It will feel like grace arriving at the exact moment you have the capacity to receive it. This is why I invite you to listen for peace rather than pressure. Fear-based expectation makes you scan the horizon anxiously, but peaceful anticipation allows you to rest. Soon, in the divine language, is not about time, it is about readiness. When your mind quiets, when your breath deepens, when your heart softens even a little, that is when alignment slips in. It is in those quiet pockets of your day, the ones you barely notice, that heaven often speaks the loudest. And you'll notice the first sign is a soft inner yes, a small resonance that feels unmistakably true, even if you cannot explain it. Let yourself lean into that possibility without gripping it tightly. Surprises meant for your good do not require you to perform or predict anything. They unfold naturally, like morning light creeping across a dark room. They are timed with care, shaped with love, and delivered with a wisdom that sees the entire tapestry of your life. You're not waiting for a dramatic twist, you're allowing a tender shift to reach you. So stay open, relaxed, and attuned. Let your spirit remain receptive rather than restless. Something kind is weaving its way toward you, and when it arrives, it will feel less like shock and more like recognition, as if a hidden piece of your journey finally clicked into place with quiet perfection. Let your heart stay open to this unfolding. As your heart settles into this softer space, you may begin to notice little moments that feel strangely meaningful, as though something is brushing gently against your awareness. These signs are not commands, not demands, not warnings. They are invitations, quiet nudges from the divine reminding you that you are being guided with intention. What once looked like random chaos begins to reveal patterns woven with care, like threads of light appearing exactly when you need reassurance the most. Stay with me here, because these patterns are often subtle until your spirit is ready to recognize them. When the number appears, maybe 1111 on a clock or a receipt or a passing sign, pause and breathe. Don't rush to interpret it with fear or urgency. Instead, let it feel like a hand on your shoulder, a reminder that you are aligned, that your prayers have not floated into emptiness. Repeating numbers are like gentle taps saying you're on the right track, keep moving with trust. When you see them, notice the state of your heart at that moment. Often, the message is not in the number itself but in the calm that comes over you when you acknowledge it. When the song repeats, a lyric you weren't expecting, a melody that stirs emotion, allow it to wash over you. Songs have a way of reaching past the mind and landing directly in the soul, carrying messages through rhythm and resonance. Perhaps a tune from years ago resurfaces with surprising clarity, or a line echoes a thought you whispered in prayer. Don't force meaning upon it, simply let yourself receive the comfort or confirmation it brings. Music becomes a bridge between heaven and your inner world when you're attuned to the way it arrives. When the dream returns, showing familiar symbols, familiar emotions, familiar stories, pay gentle attention. Dreams can reflect the movement of your spirit in ways your waking mind struggles to articulate. They may remind you of desires you buried, fears you outgrew, or truths you haven't fully embraced. A recurring dream does not demand urgency, it invites exploration. Let it speak softly, revealing pieces of meaning one layer at a time. Trust that your soul knows how to guide you through these inner landscapes when you approach them with curiosity instead of pressure. These signs are not puzzles you must solve. They are not tests. They are not ultimatums. They are moments of connection, reminding you that the divine is not distant or abstract but intimately woven into your everyday life. What feels random begins to feel orchestrated, not because you're searching desperately for answers, but because your awareness is opening. You start to notice how often reassurance arrives right when you need it most, how a small synchronicity can shift your entire mood from doubt to calm. Let the signs come naturally. Let them appear without expectation. Let them be what they are, gentle affirmations that you are guided, seen, and supported. And as these patterns unfold, allow yourself to rest in the truth that you are never moving through your journey alone. The guidance around you is steady, patient, and full of love, and it will continue revealing itself in ways that feel peaceful, personal, and unmistakably meant for you. There comes a time, my dear one, when guidance begins to flow toward you from many directions, and you need a gentle, trustworthy way to sort what is real from what is noise. Discernment is not about fear or suspicion. It is about recognizing the tone of heaven and learning to trust the signals that carry peace rather than panic. When something is truly from God, it does not rush you, corner you, or confuse you. It settles inside you like a steadying breath. Begin with this simple truth: holy clarity never feels like pressure. If a thought tightens your chest, if a message stirs anxiety, if a pull feels frantic, pause before accepting it as divine. God's voice is patient, never manipulative. It gives you room to breathe, room to reflect, room to choose. Even when guidance is firm, it carries a gentleness that respects your dignity and your timing. Peace is one of the clearest indicators of divine alignment. Not the absence of challenge, but the presence of inner steadiness. Notice how your body responds. Real guidance softens your shoulders, slows your breath, and warms the space around your heart. Confusion does the opposite. It scatters, drains, and unsettles. When you feel clarity blooming, even if you don't yet understand the full picture, trust that you're sensing something sacred. Discernment also shows itself in relationships. Any connection meant for you, friendship, partnership, or support, will honor your boundaries. Mutual respect is the hallmark of spiritually aligned people. If something or someone demands that you shrink, silence yourself, or sacrifice your peace, that is not divine. What comes from God encourages your growth, protects your spirit, and upholds your worth without condition. Empowerment is another sign of truth. Real guidance strengthens your inner voice rather than replacing it. It doesn't make you dependent on messages, signs, or other people's interpretations. It awakens your own wisdom. You feel more grounded, more aware, more capable of hearing God directly. This empowerment is a tender gift, reminding you that the divine wants partnership, not dependency. When you're unsure, pause and ask yourself, does this bring me into deeper peace or deeper panic? Does this align with love or with fear? Does this help me become more whole or more uncertain? These questions illuminate the path with surprising clarity. They allow your spirit to rise above the noise and recognize what truly carries the mark of heaven. Stay gentle with yourself as you listen. You are learning not just to hear, but to discern, and that wisdom will guide every step you take from here. When life feels heavy, peace can seem distant, but sometimes all you need is a single minute of intentional stillness to reset your spirit. These small practices are not meant to be perfect or profound. They are gentle doorways, simple ways to bring your heart back into alignment when overwhelm tries to take over. Think of them as tiny anchors you can use anywhere, at any time, allowing you to feel the nearness of God and the steadiness of your own breath. Begin with a slow inhale, just long enough for your ribs to expand. Hold it for a moment, then release the air in a soft, steady exhale. Do this again, even slower this time. Notice the difference. Notice how a minute of conscious breathing shifts the space inside you. When your breath deepens, your thoughts begin to loosen, and your spirit remembers that peace is not far away. This simple act is a way of saying to your body, "We are safe, we are guided, we can soften now." If you feel comfortable, whisper a short prayer under your breath. It doesn't need to be eloquent. Something as simple as "guide me," "hold me," or "bring me peace" can open a channel of calm within you. Prayer is not about perfect words, it is about honest surrender. When you speak from your heart, even briefly, you invite divine presence into the moment, and that presence has a way of settling the chaos that used to feel impossible to quiet. Another practice is placing your hand over your chest and noticing the warmth beneath your palm. This small gesture grounds you in your body, reminding you that your spirit lives here, and that God meets you in this exact place, not somewhere else. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. Feel the heat gathering beneath your hand. Let that warmth become a symbol of protection, a reminder that you are not facing anything alone. You can also pause for a brief reflection. Ask yourself one gentle question: what is my heart trying to tell me right now? Don't force an answer. Just listen. Sometimes the clarity arrives as a word, a feeling, a soft nudge. Sometimes it arrives only as a sense of release. Either way, giving yourself a moment to check in quiets the noise of overwhelm and strengthens your ability to recognize divine guidance when it comes. Let these practices belong to you. Use them when you wake, before sleep, in the middle of a busy day, or whenever your spirit feels scattered. Each one is a simple, repeatable way to return to yourself, to return to peace, and to remember that heaven meets you in the smallest pauses, not just the grand ones. There will come a moment, my dear one, when the air around you feels different before anything in your outer world changes. It won't be dramatic or overwhelming. It will feel like a subtle warmth rising in your chest, a quiet signal that something inside you has finally softened into alignment. This is how the shift begins, not with noise, but with ease. You may not recognize it instantly, but your spirit will. It will feel like the first deep breath after holding tension for far too long, a breath that reminds you that peace is not a distant visitor but a familiar friend returning home. Imagine yourself waking one morning with a lighter heart, even if your circumstances look the same. Your thoughts feel less tangled. Your worries feel less sharp. The heaviness that once clung to you loosens its grip, and you notice that you're not bracing for disappointment the way you used to. This inner ease is the earliest sign that something beautiful is unfolding. Before any external confirmation arrives, your spirit begins to prepare you, knitting together a sense of trust that wasn't available to you before. As you move through your day, you might catch yourself smiling at the smallest things, recognizing beauty in moments you would have overlooked. A soft lifting in your chest becomes your new compass, guiding you without pushing. You feel more present, more aware, more connected to the quiet voice within you. This is not imagination. This is alignment taking shape. This is divine timing slipping into your awareness with grace rather than force. And then, when you least expect it, the outer confirmation will appear. It may be a message of encouragement, a conversation filled with clarity, an opportunity that fits your life more perfectly than anything you tried to chase before. It may even be a simple moment of kindness that arrives with such precision that you know, without doubt, it was meant for you. Whatever form it takes, it will not feel rushed or chaotic. It will feel like something clicking gently into place, like a door opening exactly when you approach it with calm steps. Notice what happens inside you in that moment. There is no panic, no scrambling to interpret, no fear of misreading a sign. Instead, you feel grounded, steady, aware of your worth and your path. You'll sense a quiet certainty blooming in your heart, a certainty that says, "This makes sense now." You will recognize the timing by the peace it carries, by the clarity it brings, by the way your body relaxes instead of tensing. Trust that the shift comes in layers, first the inner easing, then the outer affirmation. Trust that you will not miss what is meant for you. Trust that you will know it not by urgency, but by the gentle resonance it awakens within you. And as this unfolding continues, you will realize that fear of the unknown has given way to a steady trust in what is becoming, a trust that meets your steps with quiet certainty and grace. There was once a woman who felt as though life had placed her on pause. She moved through her days carrying the quiet ache of unanswered questions, wondering why every step forward seemed to dissolve beneath her feet. She wasn't angry with God, just tired, tired of hoping, tired of trying, tired of pretending she wasn't disappointed. To the people around her she looked steady enough, but inside she lived with a soft, constant fear that she had somehow missed her moment. Every opportunity she wanted seemed to slip away, and every door she knocked on seemed to close before she reached it. She prayed, though her prayers were sometimes only whispers. She trusted, though her trust wavered in the dark. And she waited, even when waiting felt like standing still in a room with no windows. At night she asked the quietest questions, the ones she never spoke aloud. Why isn't anything working? What am I doing wrong? Has God forgotten me? These thoughts didn't make her faith small, they made her human. She didn't know it, but her heart was being prepared for a path she could not yet see. One afternoon, when everything felt especially heavy, she sat alone in her car and let the silence hold her. She placed her hand over her chest, feeling the slow rhythm of her heartbeat, and something in her softened. Not a revelation, not a miracle, just a small release, like her spirit exhaling for the first time in months. She didn't know why, but she felt an unexpected warmth move through her. For the first time in a long while, she whispered, "Maybe I'm not as lost as I thought." What she didn't know was that something had been moving beneath the surface all along. People she hadn't met yet were making decisions that would eventually open space for her. Circumstances she thought were setbacks were quietly rearranging themselves in her favor. The timing she thought was delayed was actually being refined. The apparent failures were forming the foundation for something aligned, something sustainable, something that wouldn't require her to sacrifice her peace just to feel chosen. Weeks later, a message arrived, simple, unassuming, unexpected. An old friend reached out with an opportunity she couldn't have orchestrated on her own. At first she resisted, thinking she wasn't ready, but the more she breathed into the moment, the more she felt a familiar warmth rise in her chest. It wasn't excitement. It wasn't fear. It was recognition. A soft inner yes. She stepped forward gently, and the door that once seemed sealed opened with surprising ease. As she walked into this new chapter, she realized something profound. The timing she once questioned had been protecting her. If things had unfolded earlier, she would have lacked the clarity, the boundaries, the wisdom, the confidence she now carried. What once felt like divine silence was actually divine orchestration. Every delay had been aligning her with people who valued her, spaces that honored her, and opportunities that reflected who she truly was rather than who she thought she had to be. Her story didn't become perfect, but it became purposeful. And as she looked back, she felt gratitude rising where frustration once lived. She understood, gently and fully, that she had never been forgotten. She had been guided. She had been guarded. She had been led with a tenderness she only recognized in hindsight. And in that realization, her heart found peace in the unfolding of her own divine timing. You've walked through this message with such openness, pausing when needed, breathing when invited, allowing your heart to soften into a place of deeper awareness. Now, let all of these moments gather within you, the recognition of your struggle, the reframing of your delays, the signs that speak softly, the peace that meets you when you breathe with intention. What once felt scattered now begins to form a gentle pattern, a quiet reminder that you are not wandering alone. You have been guided step by step, held through your heaviness, and slowly lifted toward a clearer, steadier place. Take a moment to notice the difference in your spirit. Notice how the weight feels lighter, how your breath settles more easily, how your heart is no longer bracing for disappointment. You have moved from unrest to understanding, from confusion to calm, from isolation to the awareness that there is a divine presence intimately involved in your journey. Let this truth root itself in you. Let it become the foundation you return to when life tries to pull you into old fears or patterns. May peace find you. May clarity guide you. May love surround you. Let these words flow through you like a soft blessing, not rushed, not forced, but steady in the way truth always is. May peace find you in your mornings, before your worries wake. May clarity guide you in the choices that once felt tangled. May love surround you in ways that remind you your heart is worthy of care, connection, and divine attention. Let each phrase settle over you like gentle light. You are not walking through this life unseen. You are not carrying your questions unnoticed. You are part of something larger, something purposeful, something tender. And even when you feel alone, heaven gathers around you in ways your eyes cannot always perceive. Let that belonging strengthen you. Let it ease the inner ache that once told you you had to figure everything out by yourself. You don't. You are supported. You are remembered. You are embraced. As you move forward, stay open to the signs that speak to your spirit, those numbers that appear at just the right moment, the songs that echo what your heart is whispering, the dreams that revisit you with gentle intention. Let them be reminders that you are connected to a greater flow, a divine rhythm that wants to guide you toward peace, fulfillment, and meaning. And as these moments unfold, allow yourself to rest in the truth that you belong to a community of souls walking similar journeys, seeking similar comfort. If you feel led, you are welcome to share the signs you've noticed or the prayers you're holding in your heart. Not out of pressure, but out of connection. When you share, you remind someone else they are not alone. When you speak your hope aloud, you make space for others to breathe easier. And if you desire continued companionship on this path, you're invited to stay connected here, to return for encouragement, reflection, and the gentle reminder that your journey matters. May peace find you. May clarity guide you. May love surround you. And may your spirit feel held as you step into the next chapter of your unfolding story, knowing you walk with heaven's tenderness beside you.